Hey guys, welcome back to Mad Theories here. Now, I was watching like last week's episode, no, 2 weeks ago's episode on Berserk, and I was like, yo, freaking guts, yo. When no, 3 weeks ago when he put on that armor, I was like, oh my god, that man is freaking sick. I was like flipping the hell out when I first seen it, and I was like, damn. But here's the theory. What if Guts was an apostle? Like what if he was an actual like a god hand, you know? Now, I know people probably thought about it, or maybe they didn't really think about it like that, but what if he was an apostle and everything was in the reverse? Let's just say, okay, Casca loves, she still like adored Griffith, but she kinda like loved Guts as well. But let's just say that it was Casca and Griffiths, because in the story it's like Griffith saved Casca from like these bandits who was about to rape and kill her, obviously, and then he saved them and was like, well, you can come along with me and whatnot. And that's what he basically did. Like she came along with him, and that's when, to like fulfill his whole goal and whatnot. But what if it was like still the same, but Griffith he had the Berserker armor on, and and Guts became like an apostle. But if I see Guts becoming an apostle, I see him like the whole rabbit dog demon that's like inside his soul. Like I believe like he would have became that, or it would have been like the Berserker armor, but maybe different. Because it's like when you look at Nosferatu Zod, like when you look at him, and people are speculating that he's his father due to the fact like they have like the same spiky hair. Now I don't know, because I haven't really read too much into the manga, so I don't know. If it is, then damn. But if it's not, then oh shit. But I haven't really dived into that. But I was just thinking like, damn, like if Guts was an apostle, and if he was to say like, he would have been one of them, and he would have been tearing it up, then you would have had the Skull King would have been working with Griffith and stuff to take down Guts. Would have been interesting. And then let's just say Guts would have been the one raping the hell out of Casca like that, and then Griffith would have been like, no, Casca, like, you bastard, this and that and whatnot. Now, I wouldn't say, like, Griffith would have lost his arms and eyes. Like, no, he still would have kept, like, who he was. Like, he still would have kept all that. He would have just been pinned down by one of the demons until, the Skull Knight came along, and he basically would have saved him, and then Casca and stuff. But nah, I think that would have been freaking crazy if Guts would have just been like an apostle, and then he would have said like, oh, like it would have made sense, because he had a hard life. His mother was hanging on a dead tree. He was raised by his stepfather Gambino, who basically raped him, trained him how to fight, took him into his first war and whatnot. But then after for a while gotten crazy and then just raped him and whatnot. And nah, like it would have made sense, because Guts had like a darker childhood, a really dark childhood. Now sure, Griffith had like not the same, but kind of like different childhood, where he basically, I think, was like a sex slave. He was a sex slave too, and I believe he was an orphan. But yeah, like Guts had like the most post-traumatic stress disorder type of a life, because it's like, you're being raised by a madman, a bandit, and it would have made sense if he would have been an apostle, and he would have took all his rage and frustration out, and would have just been like, all right, I want to rule the world. I want to take over the world, because not like he doesn't want people to experience the same thing that he experienced, but he wants to rule the world in his own way. That may be hell. That he wants to take over the world, because he felt that that the weak shouldn't be there. Like only the strong should survive. And he would only stick to the mantle of what Gambino taught him, and he was like, well, only the strong will survive. So he will eliminate anybody who isn't strong, and will be like, well, if you're weak, you're gonna die. So basically, he probably would have not had the band of the Hawks. Like that still would have been Griffith. Like Griffith would have been trying to like recruit other people to be like, well, we're gonna start up the band of the Hawks or whatever. And if Griffith, no, if Guts would have had like his own thing, he would have just been by himself. He would have just been by himself, like slaying slaying humans and whatnot, killing them, and he would have been by himself. He wouldn't have nobody like there for him. Even the apostles, like the apostles would have been his new BFFs, like his new best friends, and Guts would have just been like running solo for like here and there, killing humans, probably like building up his army. Now, if he was to have his own little army, it probably would have been the band of the demons or something, or the band of the apostles, and so it would have been like the band of the demons versus the band of the Hawks or whatever, and then it would have been like that type of thing. Or he would have been by himself, just slicing through everybody that he sees, and just been like, well, I'm gonna kill Griffith now, because Griffith and Guts' relationship is kind of like, people are really speculating, because it's like Griffith, when he was created, like when the manga creator created him, he basically had the appeal of a beautiful man. So it was like he can have anybody he technically wanted. He can have a man if he wanted. He can have a woman if he wanted. So his relationship with Guts, it was kind of like what type of relationship do you have here? Because it's almost like a tease type thing. Like Guts is trying to kill Griffith. Griffith is like playing this little tease type game. Like, hey man, you can come on, be underneath me, and we can do the things that we used to do before and whatnot. Griffith and Guts is like, nah, I'm not into that. Like you killed our family for what you wanted. He's like, hey, but this is what I truly wanted. I desired more. I desired the world. And that's exactly what Griffith wanted. He desired the world. He didn't want to settle for just ruling kingdoms and ruling lands. He desired the world. And, it would have been just like that. But for Guts' case, he would have been like, well, I want to kill everybody who's weak and probably just sort of rule from there, because when you see Nosferatu, he loved war, he loved battle. They say he was around for like 200 years. He loved war and battle, so it would have been interesting to see Griffiths versus Nosferatu Zod. Really interesting to see, and then he would have been in the Berserker armor or whatever, and he would have tried to like take him down. It would have been really interesting. And then after, when he possibly would have took him down, then he would have took down, I think, Grunibel. I think that's how you say it. I think the Dragon Apostle. He would have took him down eventually. Took whoever else that was like the leading apostle. But until he got to like Guts, and he would have been like, well, when we was little, like when we was younger, I kind of outstaged you. I kind of like had the knife to your throat. I could have killed you. I could have did this and that to you, But I don't know. Like, I personally feel that Guts as an apostle would have been broken. Like, he would have been surpassing all of them. Maybe not that brain god apostle. Maybe not him, but he would have probably bested every single one of them up in there if he was an apostle. But once again, I don't know if in the manga. Well, no, because in the manga, he basically had the brand, but it would have been interesting. My theory, it would have been interesting if Guts would have been awesome. Like, I personally feel like that man would have been doing all types of destructive shit if he would have been an apostle and whatnot. Probably unmatched and unrivaled, But, yeah, I think I'm going to end the video here. So, if you like what you heard and you heard what you like, please subscribe, share, do all of that wonderful stuff. And I'll catch you later.